Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly Oracle Wisdom. My name is Natalie Sadie. I'm just realizing I probably need. Sorry, I'm going live on my own. Anne is unavailable this week, and I just finished filming the June 2025 Oracle Wisdom reading, and it was amazing. Amazing, amazing. It was pick a pile like I normally do. And it's currently uploading while I'm doing this live because I have somewhere I need to be a little bit later on. Um, and so there's a million screens open and things are happening. And so I apologize for being a bit of a mess at the beginning of this. We are going to get into the weekly Oracle Wisdom and have a look at the energies for the week ahead. I do suggest you go and have a watch of the monthly. Pick the crystal that resonates with you the most so that you know which pile um, the reading is meant to be for you. And then, as always, drop in the comments if it resonated, if it didn't. It was pretty mind blowing. Okay, so we are going to get started with the Ascending Life Oracle deck. Mahrukh, one of my favorites, and I love this because it really is sort of like a day to day deck. It's very real things. Do you know what I mean? It's not all these spiritual things that maybe we don't think about each and every day. So I feel like this just sort of brings it into the world that we exist in and operate in every single day. Oh, okay. So first one out is ghosting. Sudden disappearing act, cutting off all communication, feeling rejected, dealing with lack of closure. So I don't know if this is already happening for some of you or if this is something that is coming up. Well, the question always is, are you the one ghosting somebody? There is nothing worse than this happening. I will say I always, 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 always talk about rejection being the universe's protection. So when things don't work and you are feeling rejected, you have to remember that the universe is protecting you from something. The other thing that I will say is, as I've navigated things in my own personal life and situations where I haven't had closure, recently something came back around. This is months ago, but something came back around and it allowed me to have conversations with somebody that, in a way, had ghosted me. It was a complicated situation, but something was happening in my present day life. And this person that had caused me grief was sort of present for some of it and was witnessing my pain. And in reaction to that, had a conversation that we probably should have had years ago. And it was the most incredible conversation. And I will be grateful till the day I die that we were able to have that conversation. And what I will say is the closure was amazing. But what I learned was that everything that was going on at that time had nothing to do with me. So the reason why things played out the way they did had nothing to do with me and everything to do with the person who ghosted me in a sense. Like I said, it was a very complicated moment and time. So the reason I'm telling you this is if this is something you're dealing with, understand that while it feels personal, it's most likely nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you at all, and everything to do with what the other person is going through. So just remember that. I know at times, especially if you're struggling with something, that can be very difficult to remember or very difficult to believe, but it doesn't make it any less true. So just keep that in mind. And hopefully, if this is something that you're dealing with, it will give you the ability to kind of overcome and continue moving forward. Next card out is woman. Female friend enters your life. A female romantic interest. A woman will assist you. A woman plays a key role. So there is a woman that is playing a major role for you this week. And listen, if you're dealing with ghosting, it could be that this female friend is the one supporting you. Okay. The one supporting you through what is happening, because sometimes we need to just talk things out and get things off our chest. We need to spiral a little because that is what we do. I don't encourage spiraling for a long time. But sometimes you just need to talk things out to get to the other side. So that could be the woman, could be somebody new that comes in and just opens up a whole new path to you. And all of a sudden you go, oh my goodness, had these things not played out, this wouldn't have opened up. So go with it and embrace whoever it is that comes forward. I feel like she's going to play a major role, whether it be business, friendship, romantic. Be open to it. The card that wanted to jump out was sad news, disappointing message, not what you wanted to hear, something not going in your favor, inconvenient truth. So to me, this comes down to the whole ghosting thing. We never want to know, or we never want to experience that. We never want to feel rejected. We never want to feel like we're not worthy or we're not chosen. But again, it's not always about that. Now, the other card that jumped out as soon as I started talking about sad news was renewal. Powerful inner transformation, leave old flames, embrace the new, release of energy and emotions, playing with fire. So here's the whole thing. Sad news, ghosting, leads to renewal. It leads to new things coming in. So if something has exited, you have to trust that it's because it no longer serves you. So the longer you get stuck in that, the longer it takes for this to take hold. So you have to keep that in mind. And I say all of this knowing how difficult it can be, depending on how big the heartbreak is. Sometimes it's just a little blip and we go, oh, that really sucks. And we feel some kind of way for a period of time. And then we move on. Other times, it's a little more than that. And it's a little tricky to kind of continue on. But the sooner you're able to pick yourself up and keep moving on and not let this one thing keep playing over and over and over in your mind, the better it's going to be for you. So those who've been watching for a while know that this is one of my favorite cards, Owl. Deep shadow work, witchcraft and magic, inner wisdom, spiritual evolution, learning hard lessons. So I feel like the card this time is more about the lessons that we're learning. We're learning about letting go. We're learning about having to be okay with not getting closure. And there are plenty of instances in my life where I've had to accept not getting closure and it sucks. Oh my goodness. As someone that just, if I have closure and I know and I'm able to move on, it makes it so much better. But I've had so many lessons recently about having to learn to let go. Often when I do that, that's when the closure comes in, the closure that I talked about at the beginning with the whole ghosting thing about it not being me. I waited years for that conversation. And it was a conversation that I genuinely never thought the two of us would have. And it organically happened in a way that wasn't forced, in a way that was very real and very emotional and very vulnerable for both of us. And I know we'll never discuss it again because we don't need to. But in the years between the events and the conversation, there was a lot of shadow work that went on. There was a lot of growth. There was a lot of needing to be able to let go of these things, being able to move forward, being able to maintain a relationship of some sort with this person. And you know what? I thought it was only difficult for me, and it wasn't. It was incredibly difficult for them. And now we're in a phenomenal place, and I'm so eternally grateful, but neither of us would have been there had neither of us done the work. So lean into that. And I mean, the line above learning hard lessons is inner wisdom and spiritual evolution. It is about our spiritual evolution. I'm clearly getting too worked up. But it is about that because the moment we understand all of these things and we understand that it's not about us. We understand that we're not always going to get closure. All of these things, that's when the universe takes care of us. Um, and also, if you've been watching me, you know that I am a huge fan of shadow work. It never, ever, ever stops. So, the shadow work is what helps us grow. The shadow work is what helps us level up. And we need to embrace it and, keep moving through it. So, it feels like this is another week where there is a bit of a focus on that. So, lean into that as well, because why not? Next card out is third party. Others interfering in your business, possible love triangle, too many people involved, someone is watching you. So maybe all of this is because there is somebody else. And it doesn't even mean, I don't even get that it means somebody else is involved in a romantic sense. It could be, but it could also just be that somebody is in somebody else's ear. It could be that there is something going on with somebody else in a situation that it doesn't allow them to be present the way they need to be, and they need to go deal with whatever is going on. It could be that there is a romantic interest sort of hanging around somewhere in the background. And you know what? If that's the case, do you even want that person? Someone who can't be faithful, somebody that can't be honest, somebody that is willing to cheat and move on, or if they weren't cheating on you to start with, they were cheating on somebody else. And what they do with you, they will do to you. So, and the other thing is, people are always watching us. Social media gives people a window into our lives. And I recently have been blocking a ton of people that from my past that have no love for me at all. Found them watching my TikToks because TikTok notifies you who's looked at your profile. And you know what? Just quietly block them because energetically they don't need to be in my life. And I don't post anything that I'm not happy for the entire world to see. But just know people are always watching, people are always paying attention. So just be aware of that. The next card out is burnout, having too many irons in the fire, not taking care of yourself, lack of control, all work and no life. So, is your life in balance at the moment? That's the question. And if it's not, you need to rectify that this week, because if you're burning the candle at both ends, you are not going to be healthy. You are not going to be in a functional state. And in order to be successful and to be able to navigate this life well, you need to be healthy. You need to be rested. You need all of those things. So just make sure you are taking care of yourself. And also make sure there's joy in your life. I understand that this is a tougher reading. It's not quite as fun. With that being said, though, it's very easy at that point for our health and everything to slide, or to hyper focus on work and taking care of others, because then we don't need to deal with what's going on for us. And that is not the way you need to deal with this. I will once again say, go watch the June reading, because I feel like it will bring a lot of clarity for you, because we're looking at 1 week here. That's looking at the entire month. And I think you'll find that regardless of which pile you choose, there is a reason for why all of these things are happening. Okay, so the last one from this deck, the hidden enemies and jealousy, hiding true intentions, being two-faced, time to work in silence. So yeah, I feel like that third party card and the whole thing about somebody's watching you and others interfering in your business, just pay attention to that. Pay attention to notifications that you're getting on social media about, I don't know, friend requests, requests to follow. If it is TikTok, who is viewing your profile, pay attention. And if that's going on, Just quietly block. There is nothing wrong. I never interact with these people. I just block because there's no reason for these people to be involved in all of this stuff. Take care of you first and foremost. And the other thing is the person who ghosted you, are they the one that's watching you? And if they are, they don't need to be. They made their choice and maybe it's for their own reasons and they've got their own thing going on, but they don't need to be part of all of this. Do you know what I mean? So just this is a week about protecting you, protecting your sanity, protecting yourself, and make sure you do that well. We are moving on to the Rose Oracle, a Rebecca Campbell deck. The Anointed, Answer the Call, Leadership, Empowerment, and Soul Gifts. So I realize that this reading feels like a bit a bit of a downer, but again, all of this is happening because you are bigger and more powerful than what you realize. And you're being called to step up. And rejection is the universe's protection. Whatever has left your life, whether it was by your choice or somebody else's, it's happening because it needs to free you up to get you where you need to be. And this is about empowering you. It's about you realizing your strength and what you're capable of. And it's about growing from all of this. And maybe it's a way of forcing you into the shadow work that needs to be done in order for you to grow and step up. I feel like you know all of this though. I feel like you already know, but it's just like you need the confirmation. We are nature, becoming grounded, embodiment, living in connection. So you need to ground, go outside, stick your feet in the dirt. If you can't do that, I mean, I live in an apartment and you would not go outside this place and put your feet on the grass because there's so many dogs here and so many people that don't pick up after their dogs. So for me, when I go for my walks, I mean, it's walking either early in the morning or later in the day so that I can walk at dusk with no sunglasses so I can allow the UV light to penetrate my eyes. It's touching the trees and the plants as I go for a walk. Sometimes I just stand somewhere and pick a tree and sort of connect with that and ground in that way. And if you can't do any of that, get a grounding mat. They're amazing. You can plug it in. I always put mine over the top of my yoga mat for when I'm either sitting in front of my red light or if I'm doing yoga or Pilates or something like that. But you need to be connected and grounded if you really want to level up in a meaningful way. So do what you can to find that connection. And I feel like that will help you navigate this week. It will just take a lot of the pressure off. Okay, so we are pulling one last card from here. The Child Within, Inner Mother, Innocence, Gentleness, and Tenderness. I feel like with this whole ghosting situation and whatever it is you're navigating, and if you are navigating a third party in something, it is bringing up all the inner child wounds. And I feel like that's probably where the shadow work is this week. So it's time to be gentle with yourself and honest. So often we are harshest when we're dealing with ourselves. We'll be very kind and patient when we're speaking with other people or when we're helping other people go through something. And yet with ourselves, we'll be really harsh because we feel like we don't deserve it. And we absolutely do. So tap into that and work through those feelings, but be kind to yourself when doing all of that. Okay, and we are going to finish up with the Energy and Spirit Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor. Oh, there we go. Archangel Zadkiel, self-acceptance, compassion, and forgiveness. There you go. everything that I just said. That is exactly where we need to be. So make sure you're giving that to yourself. It's so easy when we're doing it for others. Okay, everyone, I hope this reading resonates with some of you, if not all of you. As I always say, not every reading is for every person. So please take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Make sure you go check out the June 2025 readings, and I will see you for the next.